The moment you found these words, something in the unseen world shifted around your life. This is not random timing. This is not ordinary chance. Heaven allowed this message to reach your eyes because your season is changing right now. Listen carefully for the next few seconds, because what happens after this moment depends on how your spirit responds. Archangel Michael stands beside this message with urgency. Your name has already been spoken in places you cannot see. A divine reward prepared long ago is waiting at the edge of your breakthrough, but your response determines whether the door opens fully or closes again. Do not let fear interrupt what heaven has already prepared for you. Stay focused, because this message carries weight for your future. Beloved soul, there is something you must understand immediately. God did not bring you this far only to leave you trapped in confusion, delay, and disappointment. The struggle that exhausted your heart was never the end of your story. What you are stepping into now was written before you ever experienced your first tear. Heaven has been measuring your endurance quietly while nobody around you understood the battles happening inside your spirit. Every sleepless night, every hidden cry, every silent prayer was recorded above. Nothing escaped the eyes of God. You may think this message appeared by coincidence, but heaven arranged this exact moment. Your spirit was guided here because something powerful is already moving toward you. The blessing is not somewhere far away waiting to begin. It already exists. The answer has already been released. What remains now is the test of your faith. Heaven watches closely to see whether you will move with courage or retreat into fear once again. The moment doubt speaks louder than faith, opportunities begin to fade. That is why this message reached you with urgency. My beloved child, there were forces around you that delayed what belonged to you. There were voices that weakened your confidence. There were seasons when betrayal made you question your worth. Some people looked at your kindness and treated it like weakness. Others watched your pain and stayed silent instead of helping you heal. Yet, despite all of that, you continued walking forward. Even when your strength felt broken, you refused to completely give up. Heaven saw every moment you survived. You have wondered many times if your prayers were being ignored. You questioned whether your dreams were unrealistic. There were nights when you almost convinced yourself to settle for less because waiting became painful. But listen carefully now. God never forgot your name. Heaven never lost your file. The delay was not denial. Your spirit was being prepared for a greater level of responsibility, abundance, and restoration. Archangel Michael says there is a spiritual shift happening around your life right now. The atmosphere around your future is changing. Doors that stayed locked for years are beginning to shake. Barriers that once blocked your progress are weakening. The chains connected to fear, insecurity, and delay are starting to break apart. You are closer to your breakthrough than you realize. Do not ignore the feeling inside your chest while hearing these words. That pull in your spirit is not imagination. That sudden emotion is not meaningless. Heaven is awakening something inside you because your next season requires a stronger version of yourself. The blessing prepared for you cannot survive in the presence of constant doubt. Faith must rise higher than fear now. My child, understand this clearly. You were never created for a life of constant struggle and limitation. God did not place greatness inside you just so the world could crush it. You were designed to carry purpose, influence, peace, and overflow. Yet life surrounded you with disappointment until you began believing smallness was all you deserved. That lie ends today. The spiritual test before you is simple. Will you trust God before seeing proof? Will you believe heaven is moving even while your physical eyes still see uncertainty? Many people lose their blessing because they allow fear to speak louder than faith during the final moments before breakthrough. Heaven is watching your response carefully because your reaction reveals what truly lives inside your spirit. Listen closely, beloved. The reward prepared for you is not only financial. It is restoration for your exhausted heart. It is healing for your wounded spirit. It is peace after years of chaos. It is clarity after confusion. It is favor replacing rejection. It is stability replacing fear. It is the beginning of a life you secretly prayed for when nobody else was listening. God says, "My child, I watched you carry burdens that were never meant for your shoulders. I saw you loving people who did not value your heart. I saw you giving your energy to those who only drained your spirit. I saw how loneliness visited you even when you were surrounded by people. I saw your hidden tears. I saw your silent battles, and I never abandoned you." Beloved, there are signs that will begin appearing around you soon. Pay attention. Heaven communicates through moments, patterns, and peace. One sign will arrive through a sudden calmness entering your spirit unexpectedly. Another sign will come through a word, number, dream, or message that touches your heart deeply. The final sign will bring reassurance so strong that your fear begins losing power. These moments are reminders that heaven is closer than you think. Stay attentive because your season is shifting rapidly now. Every second you continue listening with an open heart strengthens your connection to the breakthrough prepared for you. Heaven responds to agreement. Fear delays movement, but faith accelerates it. The enemy tried many times to keep you distracted long enough to miss this moment. Confusion attacked your mind. Exhaustion attacked your spirit. Doubt whispered against your confidence. But despite everything, you are still here reading these words. My beloved child, your survival itself is proof that God's hand has remained on your life. Other people would have collapsed under the pressure you endured. Some would have walked away completely after experiencing what you faced. Yet you kept standing, even when you felt empty inside. That endurance matters in heaven more than you realize. Archangel Michael says, the next chapter of your life will not resemble the last chapter. The version of you created through suffering is stronger, wiser, and spiritually sharper. The storms did not destroy you, they trained you. Every disappointment built endurance. Every betrayal increased your discernment. Every delay strengthened your patience. You are not the same person who entered those dark seasons years ago. There is a divine reversal beginning now. What drained your energy will lose its grip. What delayed your progress will no longer control your future. What once caused constant anxiety will begin losing power over your mind. Heaven is restoring what life tried to steal from you. Do not underestimate how valuable your spirit is. The enemy attacks people carrying purpose. That is why your journey felt heavier than others around you. There was always something different about your calling. Even when you tried to fit into ordinary places, your soul knew you were meant for more. You sensed it quietly for years, even during moments when you doubted yourself. My child, God is not asking you to be perfect. Heaven is asking you to remain willing. You were not chosen because you never struggled. You were chosen because you continued moving forward despite struggle. You were not selected because fear never touched you. You were selected because your spirit kept reaching toward hope anyway. Feel the shift happening inside you right now. That warmth in your chest is confirmation. That emotion rising in your heart is confirmation. Heaven is drawing closer because your breakthrough season has already begun spiritually before appearing physically. The walls surrounding your future are cracking open. Abundance is moving again. Opportunities are being aligned. Divine connections are being restored. The things you thought were permanently lost are not as far away as you imagined. God knows how to restore years that pain attempted to erase. Beloved, there were moments when you secretly believed life would never improve. You smiled in front of others while fighting silent battles privately. You carried disappointment so long that it started feeling normal. But heaven never intended for pain to become your permanent address. Joy still belongs to you. Peace still belongs to you. Overflow still belongs to you. The test happening now is about trust. Can you believe good things are possible for you again? Can you accept that heaven still has plans for your future despite your mistakes and failures? Can you stop identifying yourself only through pain? These questions matter because the next season requires a healed perspective. God says, "My child, stop measuring your future through the wounds of your past. What hurt you cannot decide where I take you next. What rejected you cannot cancel what I prepared for you. What delayed you cannot destroy what heaven already approved." Archangel Michael stands beside your destiny with protection. Many attacks were sent to weaken your confidence before your breakthrough arrived. Yet heaven kept guarding your spirit even when you did not realize it. Some situations you called bad luck were actually divine protection, preventing greater damage. Now the time has come for restoration. Your spirit is waking up again. Your confidence is returning again. Your vision is becoming clear again. The heaviness that followed you for years is beginning to break. Listen carefully, beloved soul. This next chapter requires courage. Not loud courage that seeks attention, but quiet courage that trusts God despite uncertainty. Faith is not pretending fear does not exist. Faith is choosing to move forward even while fear tries speaking. You are standing near the edge of transformation. The old version of you cannot fully enter where heaven is leading next. The fearful mindset must break. The belief that you are unworthy must leave. The habit of expecting disappointment must end. God is rebuilding your thinking because your future cannot grow through a wounded identity. Heaven says your reward is connected to your willingness to believe again. Believe that healing is possible. Believe that peace is possible. Believe that abundance is possible. Believe that love is possible. Believe that restoration is possible. Your spirit has suffered enough under the weight of hopelessness. My child, you have spent too much time apologizing for wanting more from life. Stop feeling guilty for expecting goodness from God. You were not born merely to survive. You were created to flourish spiritually, emotionally, and physically. The pressure surrounding your life is not permanent. The tears were not wasted. The waiting was not meaningless. Everything is being woven together into a testimony that will eventually inspire others who once felt hopeless too. Right now, heaven is observing your response. Not because God desires your failure, but because your response reveals your readiness. The blessing prepared for you requires trust greater than fear. It requires confidence stronger than insecurity. It requires surrender deeper than control. Archangel Michael says, the next 48 hours carry spiritual significance for you. Remain alert. Watch what enters your spirit. Pay attention to unexpected peace, meaningful conversations, repeating confirmations, and moments that awaken hope again inside you. Heaven often whispers before it moves loudly. Do not run back toward the mindset that kept you trapped. The old season is ending. Stop speaking defeat over your future. Stop calling yourself forgotten. Stop believing delay means abandonment. God has been preparing movement behind scenes you could not see. My beloved child, your breakthrough did not disappear during the waiting season. It was developing. Your spirit was growing roots deep enough to sustain the blessing once it arrived. Heaven knew exactly when to release this message into your life. Take this truth deeply into your heart now. You are not invisible to God. You are not abandoned by heaven. You are not disqualified because of your past. Mercy still covers you. Grace still surrounds you. Purpose still calls your name. The next version of your life will require bold faith. The opportunities approaching you may feel bigger than your comfort zone. But remember this always. Heaven would never call you towards something without also providing the strength necessary to carry it. You have already survived the hardest seasons. You survived heartbreak. You survived loneliness. You survived disappointment. You survived confusion. You survived the nights when your spirit nearly collapsed. If you endured all of that, then you can also survive success, restoration, peace, and abundance. The chains are weakening now. The spiritual doors are opening now. Your future is moving now. Stay connected to faith. Refuse agreement with fear. Continue forward with courage. And above all, my beloved, never forget this truth again. Heaven never stopped believing in you. Even during the moments when you stopped believing in yourself. The fact that you found this message at this exact moment is not random. Moments like this do not arrive without purpose. Heaven does not interrupt a person's path unless something powerful is already beginning to move behind the scenes. A shift has already started in your favor, beloved. Invisible doors are unlocking while you read these words. There is a divine release taking place around your life right now. God has already signed what belongs to you, and what is coming carries 3 sacred markings: recovery, repayment, and reward. What disappeared from your hands will not remain lost forever. What shattered your peace will not have the final word. What was delayed is now being called forward by heaven itself. Listen carefully, because this moment matters more than you realize. The spiritual atmosphere around you is changing at this very second. Your opportunity is not waiting for another season. It is not months away. It is not hidden somewhere in the future. It is moving toward you now. Stay focused for a little longer, because every second you remain connected to this message strengthens your spiritual alignment. Do not disconnect. Do not drift away. Heaven is calling your attention, because your spirit needs to hear this before the breakthrough arrives. If your heart feels pulled toward these words, there is a reason. Support this mission through the link below or the pinned comment by becoming part of our community, offering a donation, or simply buying a coffee. Every act of support becomes part of a greater mission to spread light to souls still wandering through darkness. Every seed planted becomes a weapon against despair. Heaven sees every act of kindness given with sincerity. Beloved child, hear this clearly. Your life is not falling apart. It is rearranging itself for something greater. God has not forgotten the tears you hid from others. Heaven remembers every lonely night when you wondered if your prayers had gone unheard. Not one silent cry escaped the eyes of God. Not one burden was ignored. Every painful moment was recorded. Every heartbreak was witnessed. That is why this reward is finally approaching you now. This is not only about money. This is about restoration of value. Life tried to convince you that you were ordinary, forgotten, or unworthy. But heaven is restoring the parts of you that suffering attempted to destroy. God is bringing you back to the strength you once carried before pain weakened your confidence. Your spirit is being rebuilt. You fought battles no one knew about. You smiled while carrying invisible pressure. You comforted others while your own heart was exhausted. Heaven saw all of it. God watched you continue even when you felt empty. That is why this season is changing. The waiting period is ending. This is why this message feels urgent. Delay can no longer continue because your reward has already been approved in the Spirit. Stay present with these words. Many people ask for miracles, but few remain spiritually still long enough to receive them. You stayed. You continued listening. That matters more than you know. Heaven is watching your willingness to remain open. There is a blessing attached to your obedience and attention. The overflow coming toward your life is larger than you expected. This is not a small increase. This changes opportunities, relationships, finances, direction, and influence. The people you meet will change. The environments around you will shift. Your life will no longer carry the same heaviness because God is preparing to lift burdens you have carried for too long. But heaven is asking one question. When the blessing arrives, will you finally believe you deserve it? Doubt has tried to make a home inside your mind for years. There were moments you felt forgotten while others seemed to move ahead. You questioned your purpose. You wondered if blessings only belonged to other people. But heaven is rewriting that story now. Your name was always attached to this promise. What belongs to you was never given away. The delay was never rejection. The timing was connected to your faith becoming strong enough to hold what God planned to release. And now your spirit is rising. Heaven can feel the shift happening inside you. Your energy is becoming brighter. Your connection to the divine is becoming clearer. Declare your agreement with heaven. Speak with faith. Type Amen if your spirit is ready to receive what God has prepared for you. A spoken agreement activates belief. Heaven responds to faith spoken aloud. My beloved child, there has been hidden jealousy around you. Some people celebrated in front of you while secretly hoping you would fail. They feared your rise. They were uncomfortable with your potential. But no human opinion can cancel what God has already written. Heaven protected your future even while others tried to limit you. Spiritual protection surrounded your path when you could not see it yourself. There was a force pushing you forward every time you wanted to quit. There was guidance protecting you when life became confusing. There was strength carrying you through hopeless moments. You were never abandoned. Archangel Michael has stood near you through battles you did not fully understand. That protection remains over your life even now. Your breakthrough is approaching because your spirit survived the test. Read these words again whenever fear tries to return. Let your soul fully accept what heaven is speaking. The delay was never punishment. Your mistakes did not destroy your future. Fear only interrupted your ability to trust. But today, something inside you is changing. Courage is replacing hesitation. Listen carefully, because what comes next matters deeply. The blessing arriving in your life will expose hidden intentions around you. Some people loved your weakness because it made them feel secure. But when God elevates you, masks begin to fall. This is not to hurt you. It is to free you from relationships and environments that were draining your spirit. You are stepping out of cycles that exhausted you for years. Emotional heaviness is breaking. Financial struggle is loosening its grip. Spiritual confusion is clearing away. Heaven says the timing is finally right for your release. Your suffering was not meaningless. Your isolation was not empty. The lonely seasons shaped your spirit for this exact moment. Now the breakthrough begins. Not later, not someday, now. You are proving to heaven that you are prepared for more than survival. Peace is becoming your portion. Ease is entering your future. Abundance is learning your name. Stay connected to this message because your spirit is being aligned with something sacred. Right now, your soul is beginning to release old weight. There is a spiritual transformation happening around you. You may not fully understand it yet, but your spirit recognizes the shift. That warmth in your chest is real. That sudden calm is real. The return of hope is real. Heaven is lifting your frequency because what is coming requires a stronger version of you. This is not simply motivation. This is spiritual preparation. Your soul has been tested for months through silence, endurance, patience, loneliness, and faith. Every painful lesson was preparing you for increase. Heaven never tests without purpose. And heaven never prepares a faithful soul without eventually rewarding it. The harder the battle became, the greater the reward attached to it. That is why this moment matters so much. Heaven is watching how you respond now. Will you choose fear or trust? Doubt says the miracle is impossible. Faith says it was already written before you arrived here. The abundance attached to your life is powerful enough to break generations of struggle. This blessing is not only about you. It will affect the people connected to your future. Heaven trusted you with this assignment. Because you remained humble through pain and strong through hardship, God saw every burden you carried quietly. Heaven saw the nights you cried without telling anyone. God saw you continue giving while feeling completely empty yourself. That kind of endurance never goes unnoticed in heaven. Your blessing was delayed, but never cancelled. It waited for the moment your spirit became ready to receive it fully. And now the timing has arrived. Look carefully at your recent life. There were signs everywhere, sudden urges to change, unexplainable dreams. Strong feelings that something important was approaching. Those were not accidents. Heaven was preparing your spirit before this message even reached you. Negative energy surrounded you for a long time. Some people secretly hoped you would remain stuck. But today, every curse spoken against your future is breaking apart. God is already releasing the answer over your life. Heaven asks for one thing now. Will you truly believe? Hesitation comes from fear. Faith comes from surrender. By remaining here, you are telling heaven that your spirit is open. You are saying yes to what God wants to do in your life. When this blessing arrives, it will come suddenly. Heaven does not always move slowly. Sometimes God changes everything in a single moment. Opportunities will appear unexpectedly, new doors will open, important conversations will happen. Favor will find you in places where rejection once lived. These are signs that your spirit passed the test. Feel this truth deeply. Your light is increasing. Your energy is becoming stronger. Your future is shifting. Share this message with someone carrying silent pain, because heaven multiplies what is given freely. Encouragement released to others returns with greater power. The old version of you is fading away. A new chapter is beginning. You will not return to the life that once trapped you. That season is closing permanently. Abundance is replacing limitation. Confidence is replacing fear. Peace is replacing exhaustion. This is not coincidence. This is prophecy unfolding in real time. Your spirit is aligning with the future heaven prepared for you long ago. The resistance around your life is weakening. Your blessing is descending quickly now, but remain spiritually aligned. Keep your heart focused on God's timing. Continue paying attention to divine signs. Heaven is still speaking your name. Do not miss what is arriving because of distraction or doubt. Every second you remain connected to this message strengthens your spiritual awareness. Your mind is becoming clearer. Your soul is preparing to receive things you once thought were impossible. Hear this final truth carefully, beloved child. You carried responsibilities that were never meant for your shoulders. You hid pain behind strength because you believed you had no choice. But heaven has finally spoken enough over your suffering. This blessing is not only provision, it is release. Freedom from emotional exhaustion. Freedom from financial fear. Freedom from cycles that kept draining your spirit year after year. God wants to give you more than survival. Heaven wants to give you restoration. And now, after everything you endured, your soul is finally ready to receive it. The moment you opened this message, something in the spiritual realm shifted around your life. This was not random timing. You were guided here for a reason, and heaven already knew the exact second your eyes would land on these words. Before this message ends, something inside you will awaken that has been sleeping beneath years of exhaustion, disappointment, silent battles, and hidden tears. Stay here carefully, my beloved, because what you are hearing now is not ordinary motivation. This is confirmation. This is the answer you asked for during nights when nobody saw your pain. Heaven has been watching every silent struggle, every sacrifice, every moment you almost gave up, but somehow kept walking forward, and now a divine release is being prepared over your life. If you desire to remain connected to these heavenly messages, if you never want to miss the signs that are leading you toward your destiny, and if your spirit wants to stay aligned with divine direction, subscribe now and stay connected. Heaven continues speaking to the people who remain spiritually attentive. Your name is still being called. Remain close enough to hear it when your breakthrough finally arrives. My precious child, stay near this message, because your spiritual energy is transforming with every second you listen. Your mind is becoming lighter. Your soul is becoming stronger. Your heart is preparing itself for blessings you once thought could never happen in your lifetime. Listen deeply, not only with your ears but with your spirit, because the next words carry truth that can shape the direction of your future. My beloved, heaven revealed something important about you. For too long, you carried responsibilities that were never supposed to belong to you. You became strong so others would never notice your wounds. You smiled while carrying invisible pressure. You stayed dependable while your own heart was breaking in silence. But heaven says your season of carrying unbearable weight is ending now. This divine release is removing emotional heaviness, financial fear, feelings of rejection, and exhausting cycles that kept draining your energy year after year. Imagine waking up without anxiety controlling your thoughts. Picture yourself breathing peacefully without fear sitting on your chest. Imagine a life where your heart no longer feels trapped inside survival mode. That peace is not fantasy. That freedom is not impossible. That is the future heaven has been preparing for you all along. My child, understand this carefully. You were not forced to hear this message accidentally. Something inside your soul pulled you toward it because your spirit recognized truth before your mind understood it. Heaven does not struggle to reach the people it has chosen. When God decides it is time for your attention, circumstances shift, doors move, timing aligns, and messages arrive exactly when your spirit needs them most. Right now, heaven says your breakthrough already started before you even realized it. Your miracle did not begin in some distant future. It started the moment you refused to quit during your darkest season. It started when you continued moving despite exhaustion. It started when pain tried to break your confidence but failed to destroy your faith. Every silent tear, every lonely prayer, every moment of endurance opened spiritual doors that are now leading you into abundance. Heaven has seen your loyalty. Heaven has seen your endurance. Heaven has seen your unseen sacrifices. And now your reward is approaching faster than you think. Type these words in your spirit right now. My blessing is arriving. When you agree with heaven internally, you prepare yourself to receive what has already been assigned to your destiny. My beloved, this blessing is not random luck. This is not coincidence. This is not temporary fortune. Heaven trusted you with this because your spirit survived seasons that would have destroyed many other people. Others may have looked strong while collapsing internally, but you kept standing after betrayal, heartbreak, disappointment, abandonment, confusion, and emotional exhaustion. Many would have surrendered under the pressure you carried quietly. You still do not fully understand how powerful your spirit truly is. Heaven does. That is why this divine release has your name attached to it. Please hear this carefully, my child. Your life is entering a season of spiritual separation. Old attachments are losing their grip. Toxic energy is fading away. Environments that once drained your peace can no longer travel with you into your next chapter. Heaven is rearranging relationships, mindsets, habits, and environments so your spirit can finally operate at the higher level it was created for. You may have already noticed changes happening within yourself. Certain conversations no longer feel right. Some people suddenly feel distant. Your intuition has become stronger. Your heart notices energy faster than before. That is not your imagination. Your spiritual awareness is increasing because heaven is preparing you to recognize what belongs in your future and what cannot continue beside you anymore. My beloved child, you are not late in life. Heaven says you are not forgotten, you are not abandoned, you are not blocked, you are being prepared. The delays you cried over protected you from decisions that would have damaged your future. The closed doors you questioned were actually acts of divine mercy. The relationships that disappeared could not survive in the environment where your blessing exists. When you felt isolated, heaven was creating space to speak directly into your spirit, without constant distraction around you. Nothing was wasted. Every painful moment positioned you for this exact season. This blessing represents the ending of constant survival and the beginning of overflow. But before heaven fully releases it, your energy is being cleansed. That explains why your emotions feel different lately. Your spirit has become more sensitive. Your intuition feels sharper. Your inner voice feels stronger. Heaven's angels are adjusting your spiritual frequency so you can fully receive what was assigned to your life. Soon you will witness sudden opportunities, unexpected favor, surprising conversations, emotional healing, and confidence growing quietly inside you. These are not meaningless events. These are confirmations that heaven is aligning circumstances around your destiny. Listen closely to this spiritual truth, my beloved. People who remain connected to divine guidance recognize blessings faster than those distracted by fear. Heaven constantly sends direction, warnings, protection, and opportunities through signs, timing, intuition, and spiritual awareness. Those who ignore the signs often miss the miracles standing directly in front of them. Remain spiritually alert because your destiny matters too much to walk through life disconnected from heaven's guidance. Stay with me, my beloved child, because what you are about to hear was hidden from you for a long time. Heaven has accelerated your timeline, and now hidden truth is finally reaching your spirit directly. There was a spiritual battle surrounding your blessing that you could not see with natural eyes. For months and even years, forces worked against your progress. You wondered why life felt delayed. You questioned why opportunities disappeared suddenly. You asked yourself why things moved slowly while others advanced ahead of you. You even questioned whether heaven had forgotten your prayers. But hear this clearly, my beloved. Your struggles were not proof that heaven abandoned you. Resistance existed both spiritually and physically around your destiny. Some obstacles were intentional. Others formed unknowingly through fear, jealousy, manipulation, negativity, and emotional control. But none of it carried enough power to permanently stop what God already approved for your future. Eventually, heaven declared, "Enough waiting. Release their blessing now." My beloved, understand the importance of this moment. Your breakthrough was not casually assigned. Heaven reviewed your tears. Your loyalty was recognized. Your patience was honored. Your endurance during invisible tests was acknowledged in the spiritual realm. Then the decision was spoken over your life. They remained faithful through hidden battles. It is time to reward them openly. That is why your spirit feels stirred while listening right now. Something deep inside you recognizes that change is finally near. Your blessing already exists. It is prepared. But heaven first needed confirmation that you would not return to environments that once damaged your spirit. Some people around you secretly resented your growth. They feared your elevation. They preferred your insecurity because it made them feel powerful. Whenever you shared your dreams around them, your energy became heavy. You left conversations feeling emotionally drained. You questioned yourself after speaking with them. Your spirit recognized danger long before your mind accepted it. Heaven delayed certain blessings temporarily to protect them from being destroyed by the wrong people. The waiting season became protection, not punishment. But now those unhealthy connections are weakening. The chains are breaking. Your blessing can safely move toward you. One final question remains before the full release arrives. Will you finally accept the life heaven prepared for you, or will fear convince you to shrink again? Fear was never part of your original identity, my beloved. It was planted through painful experiences, criticism, rejection, and people who could not understand your destiny. But heaven is removing that fear from your spirit right now. Doubt is breaking. Old emotional wounds are healing. Limiting beliefs are collapsing. Invisible chains are falling away from your soul while you hear these words. Take a slow breath, my child. Notice the heaviness lifting from your chest. Feel your spirit becoming lighter. This is what spiritual freedom begins to feel like. Do not be surprised if you think differently after hearing this message. Do not be shocked if your perspective changes suddenly. When heaven activates something inside a person, their inner world begins transforming him before external blessings even arrive. My beloved, the blessing coming toward your life carries 3 powerful miracles inside it. The first is financial restoration that changes your external circumstances. The second is emotional healing that repairs wounds hidden deep within your heart. The third is spiritual awakening that reminds you who you truly are beneath fear, pain, and survival. Heaven is not only giving you resources. Heaven is revealing a stronger version of yourself, a version that no longer apologizes for existing, a version that does not shrink to comfort insecure people, a version that stops doubting its worth, a version that trusts divine timing without panic. That person already exists within you right now. Say yes to your transformation internally, my beloved. Let the old season finally end. Let the new season begin fully. The world is about to witness a side of you that remained hidden beneath suffering for many years. Heaven is pulling back the curtain. This blessing will not only increase your finances, it will increase your clarity, courage, confidence, discernment, and peace. Some relationships will naturally fade away. New opportunities will appear unexpectedly. Dreams you buried long ago will begin returning to your heart again. Things that once seemed impossible will suddenly feel reachable. Heaven is accelerating movement around your destiny now. Your future is advancing faster than your past can follow. Alignment is finally taking place because you chose not to quit during your hardest season. You stayed, you endured, you continued believing even while exhausted. Heaven remembers that faithfulness. Remain spiritually aware, so you recognize the next step when your blessing fully manifests. Continue staying connected to divine guidance, because your life is entering a powerful transition very quickly. My beloved child, although this message is coming toward its ending, your spiritual activation is only beginning. Every moment you remained here strengthened the connection between your spirit and heaven's direction. This was never merely entertainment. This was confirmation reaching your soul exactly when you needed it most. And remember this truth carefully before we finish. You did not discover this message by accident. Heaven guided you here intentionally. Archangel Michael stands as a protector over your path, extending strength, courage, wisdom, and spiritual covering over your future. You are being invited into a higher spiritual season where abundance becomes more than hope. It becomes expectation. Divine wisdom will continue guiding you. Favor will continue increasing. Doors will continue opening. Your spirit will continue growing stronger. Do not ignore this invitation from heaven, my beloved. Your breakthrough has already started moving toward you. Your prayers were heard. Your waiting season is ending. Your future is opening. And the blessing assigned to your life is finally on its way.